So, American Farm Bureau Federation has worked with John Deere, and they also just signed a right to repair memorandum of understanding with Case IH and New Holland. That was very recent.
I see. Okay. So
So,
what was the deal? Do you not have a, do they not have the right to repair their machines by themselves?
okay, you buy new equipment from these guys, right? And oftentimes you don't have the tools or the manuals in order to do a lot of that repair yourself. If something breaks and needs to
Hmm.
be welded, that's one thing. But oftentimes you're talking about precision tools that require a lot more electrical work, particularly computer generated work. And so a lot of the manufacturers have said that's not something you can get into, and realistically if you don't have the right tools or the right information, you wouldn't be able to fix it. And the
I see.
manufacturers, John Deere and Case, weren't releasing that information prior to, and you needed to have a service call or bring it into a dealership for repair. American
Hmm.
Farm Bureau has been working with these manufacturers to try to bring forward the ability for folks to work on their own items. I heard one farmer describe it really well, and he said, if it's mechanical, if it's something that I can do, if I have to weld it, bolt it, something like that, I'm willing to do it. But when it comes to a lot of the computer technology, I can understand why they want to protect their proprietary and copyrighted information, and I probably need more of a professional to do that. So, yes,
Right.
American Farm Bureau is asking for these things to happen. How much will that change? Well, the companies are saying they're going to make tools and information more available to farmers who want to use it. Um, does it hold anybody's feet to the fire one way or the other? It doesn't at this point, but it's just an agreement.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I would imagine that a lot of the technical side, the wiring, all the computers that go into it are probably a little above most people's heads.
Well, and think about some of the stuff that's in there, and you don't want to lose your information, right? You're talking to somebody who,
No.
from time to time, I'm afraid to press the wrong yes or no on my laptop for fear I'll just blow it up like Chernobyl. So when you're in your machines and you're talking about your data that uploads to the cloud, and you could have spray records, yield records, et cetera, you don't want to lose any of that. Granted, there are backups and it gets used in other places, but you're still very cautionary with where that might go.
Yeah, I know a buddy of mine up here, their operations, they lost data on one of their fields,
Yes.
and it almost in a way shut them down for like a week until they could get some of that data back. They couldn't do anything.
Remember,
It literally stopped them.
cybersecurity on farm is a huge target right now. The FBI
Hmm.
issued a critical warning last fall in September saying that agribusinesses and farms are being targeted, and they wanted folks to be as cautious as possible so they didn't lose data. Because if you think about like your friend, they were down for days. You can now we've seen agribusinesses that can't ship. You pull into an elevator without that computer, they can't probe trucks for samples, they can't write tickets, scale tickets, they can't write checks. Dole was recently affected, the pineapple company.
Yeah.
They weren't able to ship fresh fruit for several days because they got hacked. And so these things are considerably targets for a lot of hackers out there who want to try to take ransoms off of them.
Yep. And I think that's a big thing with it too, because a lot of people are like, "Oh, why do they want to hack someone's farm? What are they going to get out of it?" Well,
Right.
the person who got hacked can't do their operation unless they have that information, and the only way they're getting that information back is if they're paying the person that hacked them a bunch of money to get it back. Maybe.
Absolutely. The average cost to recover for a small or mid-sized business is agribusiness is roughly $84,000 to get, and that's if you can
Ooh.
get your information back. If you tell them I'm not paying the ransom, they'll go ahead and sell your information on the black web. And now your whatever banking information in particular, but otherwise could be out there. Or even if they don't sell sensitive information like some of your farm records, you just can't get to it. So that puts you in a bad spot
Right.
to begin with. It's not easy to recover
Yeah,
some of that.